This Friday, March 21st, at Untitled Art Space is our new exhibit, The Big Opening. It's Art 365, a year of innovation by Oklahoma artists. And this exhibit began probably about 3 years ago, is whenever the brainstorming first started at how to get this new exhibit to happen. And what it was a statewide call for proposals from Oklahoma artists. And their proposals were kind of their dream of what would they do with their art if they had a year and $10,000 to work on it. So we received 143 proposals, amazing proposals of just really excellent ideas. And our curator, Diane Barber, who is the co-executive director and visual arts curator at Diverse Works in Houston, really great alternative art space, she selected 6 of those proposals, and each of those artists received $10,000. And over the past year, Diane has been coming and doing studio visits with them, giving them some feedback, pushing them to think beyond what they normally do, kind of outside of their comfort zone. And they've all created things that are, bigger and beyond what they've ever done. So it's been really exciting to see that transition happen. Well, there are 6 projects, and there are actually 7 artists because one of the projects is a collaboration between 2 artists. The artists are Sarah Atley, who's from Norman.
And what did she produce?
Well, her project is called Normal, Oklahoma. And Normal, Oklahoma is it's a fictional town that exists in the mind of the artist. And she created this town, and it is populated with characters that she created based on Oklahoma place names. So, for example, one of my favorite characters that I've seen is from a road sign that she saw on her way to Tulsa that is an exit for Peoria Jinx. And so Peoria Jinx became the first and last name of this character. And she's written little stories that give kind of a glimpse into the personality of these characters, and then she's also created portraits of them, as well as creating some abstract paintings that kind of create the environment that she imagines Normal, Oklahoma to have. So that's a really fun project. And then Betsy Barnum is an artist from Edmond, and her project is called Leaves a Trail to Fall. And hers is a more personal, introspective. She's created a series of prints and paintings that are almost like a journal of her life in a way, and they kind of talk about her relationships in her personal life with her husband, with her sister, with her family, her friends. And then she also has a book that she's made that really is kind of like a journal, sketchbook, idea book from which the paintings and prints that she's made come. And then there is Joseph Don, who lives in Oklahoma City, and his project is called Drive and Ambition, and he's created these 2 large-scale kind of interactive sculptures that are about his struggle between his life as an artist and his career as an arts administrator. He's a professor at the University of Central Oklahoma. And so one of his pieces is a desk that's, big and heavy and wooden, and he's created this structure that comes off of it that is like an airplane, and it has these wings that are, I think, 22 feet across, 22-foot wingspan. And there's a bike that sits behind the desk, and he's pedaling, furiously to get these wings to flap. And they do, but of course the desk is never going to take off, which is sort of part of his commentary. And then there's Ashley Griffith, who's another artist in Oklahoma City, and she's a photographer. And she's created 3 large panels of photographs, each dealing with a different topic. One of them is a photograph from each day over the past year while she's been working on this project, and it kind of tells the story of her life for the past year. And so it's 365 photographs, and from afar you view them all as a whole, but as you come in closer you can really start to get a sense of what her life is like and what's happening, and they're really fun. And then the other 2 deal with environmental issues and just kind of some things that she's been kind of researching and focusing on over the past year. Liz Roth is from Stillwater. She's a professor at Oklahoma State University, and her project is called America 101. America 101, and she, over the past year, has traveled to all 50 states, and from each state, she has created 2 typical but not iconic landscape paintings from each state. So when you look at them, you are not necessarily like, oh, that's Oklahoma. You know, they all are typical landscapes from each state, but they're not iconic scenes where you would recognize right away. And so she's made 2 paintings from each state, and they're all postcard-sized paintings. So they're about 3 by 5, and they're kind of little boxes that stick out from the wall. And then juxtaposed with these small 100 paintings is a large billboard-sized painting of, well, I'm not going to give away what it is, what it's of, because you'll have to come and see it. But it's a commodity that we see a lot in our daily lives that has a great impact on these beautiful natural landscapes, the natural world that we live in. And then the last project is from Live for This. It's the collaborative project, 2 artists from Tulsa, Darshawn Phillips and Aaron Wisner. And their project is called Elements of Childhood. And they've created really an environment with their paintings. And it's an installation of paintings really of really kind of iconic images that represent childhood, like Barbie and G.I. Joe and ice cream and, you know, Nintendo and things like that. And so they were kind of 80s children. And so a lot of the imagery comes from that decade and is really a lot of fun to look at. Good. Friday is from 5 to 8 at Untitled Art Space, which is 1 Northeast 3rd Street in Oklahoma City. And from 5 to 6, the curator, Diane Barber, will be here, and she's going to give a talk about, you know, kind of the process that she's been going through with the artist over the past year and how she came to the decision she did. And then she's also going to talk a little about her other curatorial work that she's done. And then 6 to 8 is a reception with the artist. All the artists will be there and available for everyone to talk to. Well, the show is up through April 26th, which is, we will have a closing reception on April 26th, where we will debut the catalog of the exhibit and then also a little preview of the documentary film that's been made over going through this process with the artists and watching them through. The film is really about the creative process and how they come from point A with their proposals to point B with the actual exhibition. So we're going to do a little teaser preview at the closing reception of what the film is going to be like, and then the exhibit will travel from Oklahoma City. It goes to Tulsa and opens May 29th, and then at the Circle Cinema in Tulsa, which is a great independent theater, is going to screen the entire Art 365 documentary. And then the exhibit will be shown at Liggett Studio and at the gallery at the University of Tulsa.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.